Over here in Manchester, the big figure of Reg Harris, perhaps the most famous sprinter the world has ever known, adorns the stadium. And now we move on to the 4,000 metres men's individual pursuit over 16 laps of the track. Olympic and world record holder Andrea Colinelli now searches for his first world title. His record stands at 4 minutes and 19 seconds. But the return of Chris Boardman, the 1994 champion, will cause him some consternation. As we join the action, Boardman is at the qualifying stages and rumours are rife that he has been recording times of 4 minutes 15 seconds in training. If he can repeat that now in reality, he will smash the world record wide open. We are looking at a time of around 4 minutes 16, which has never ever been hinted at before in the world of pursuit riding. Boardman is going to blow the world record out of the stadium. If he keeps this schedule up through the last kilometre, a 4:16, a 4:17, Paul, and only a month ago in Atlanta we saw the first ever ride inside 4 minutes 20 by Colinelli. He's still to come.
Magnificent, but bear in mind Colinelli is a pure track rider. He's been training just for the track here, but Chris Boardman has ridden the Tour de France this year and the Olympic Games and the time trial. The man really flying around there. He got the bell last time. It's going to be a great ride, and I think we're on for a new world record.
As Boardman comes round towards the finish, he is going to set an astounding time. There is no doubt about that. Lehman has retired from the competition. Boardman's ride is unbelievable, but the clock has gone on counting.
Well, Phil, I think it was round about 4:13, but the clock didn't stop on the far side, and it is 4:13, so that is quite magnificent.
Well, one can't believe this. 4:13.353 is what the clock is saying. This is an incredible improvement. This is a 6-second beating of the world record, a world record that's been one of the toughest ever to beat. Can you believe that ride? Look at this, 4:13.353. The old world record by Andrea Colinelli was 4:19.699 done in Atlanta, and now Chris Boardman has come out and blown it out of the water. But Colinelli himself beat his old world record to qualify second best. The scene was already set for the final. Using the new Superman position, pursuiting tyres are being rewritten. A packed stadium was now ready to see the best final ever between Chris Boardman and Andrea Colinelli. This is going to be an incredible final. There's a tremendous cheer, as you might anticipate, on home ground for Chris Boardman, just an hour from his home on the Wirral Peninsula. Boardman starts slowly, but normally so too does Colinelli, and then they just go so quickly over the 4,000 metres.
Well, Boardman settling down here, still accelerating after he's covered one lap, and he will go down, as has been the norm in all of the rounds so far, a little bit slower than Andrea Colinelli, but this time only 0.5. Both of these men using a similar style position, the Superman position, which won this man, Andrea Colinelli of Italy, the gold medal at the Olympic Games, and Boardman goes back a little further to 1.1 second behind.
So Boardman has made the slow start. He loses normally on the second lap, and then as he goes into the second kilometre, if he's on his schedule, he goes quicker. But at the moment, he is still slowing down, 1.480, as Colinelli heads towards the end as leader in the opening kilometre. This is going to be a fascinating final. Colinelli has made the best start. I think they anticipated he would. But now let's see if Boardman is closing in. He is. No, he's not. He's gone slightly out again. At 1:7.390, the first kilometre to Colinelli. That is incredibly fast.
Well, these two men are 2 seconds inside the schedule of the world record of 4 minutes and 13, and Boardman going still further behind now, 1.6 seconds, and Colinelli looks absolutely marvellous. He's flat on his machine, there's no movement in the upper part of his body, and he's spinning that gear around, but on the other side of the track, Boardman looking good as well, still 1.6, it's now stabilised.
Well, I wonder, because Colinelli looks as though he's really settled in here. Boardman under pressure for the first time in these championships. The Olympic champion perhaps feeling a little bit proud of that gold medal. He is now holding Boardman. Boardman for the first time is showing an impression. He has knocked back 0.2 of a second in the last lap as he heads now towards the end of the second kilometre.
Well, Boardman will be using a much bigger gear than that of Andrea Colinelli. He has the strength of the Tour de France behind him, and he's on a good schedule, 1.2 seconds behind. He's now starting to eat into the advantage of this man, Andrea Colinelli of Italy.
This is the first time that Chris Boardman has been behind by the end of the second kilometre in a pursuit match here in Manchester this week. But now he's inside a second. Boardman's taking longer, and he should do against the Olympic champion. But he's winding up and he's closing in. Inside a second is the gap now.
It takes him a long time to get that big gear going, but he's riding against the man who before this championship was the fastest man in the world, 0.558. He's really nailing down the Italian now.
The Italian has gone out on an incredible world record speed. He's only just beginning to slow, while Boardman continues to roll. 0.071 by the next lap. We expect to see Boardman in the lead, heading to the end of the third kilometre.
Well, he's got his rhythm now as we see the face of Andrea Colinelli. This man is such a fantastic pursuit rider, but he's riding against the man who was best in the world, and Boardman has now done it, Phil. He has just edged out Colinelli.
And 3 minutes at 10.526. Chris Boardman is riding to a 4 minutes 11-second pursuit. That is unthinkable. But Boardman now riding to an incredible world record if he continues over the last kilometre as he takes on the other fastest man in the world, Andrea Colinelli. This is an amazing pursuit, the likes of which we may never see again.
Well, he went into this and he knew he had to do something special in the final of this event, and you know he had to go out and do another world record. This time he will not ease up as he did in the semi-finals. He needed the extra energy and he will use it to his best advantage.
So Chris Boardman now in the lead as the crowd enjoy the crowning of a world champion here. Colinelli going away from the leaderboard. He is now second behind, nearly 5 seconds behind, as Boardman races to the gold medal in the World Championship, a title he has held before. This is going to be an unbelievable time, a world record for 11.114. Chris Boardman has smashed his own world record out of sight, and in the last 2 days he has knocked more than 7 seconds off what we thought was the finest world record of Colinelli, which was 4:19. But now we're looking at figures of 4 minutes 11.114, a new world record. He's beaten the Olympic champion. He is the world champion. They're calling him Superman, and will anybody ever disagree with that? And the return of Superman had tarnished the gold medal from the Olympic Games of Andrea Colinelli. This had been very special to Chris Boardman.
Really, this one was a no-holds-barred, and I had an eye on Colinelli. I could see he didn't die till very, very late in the ride, so I was worried there. He literally lost all that time in the last kilometre. So I was a bit nervous, and I thought I was going to have to go full out. Once it accelerated, I just stayed on top of it.
And he certainly did that.